All right. Hi, everybody. This is Sucrose. Back to play some Factorio. The last time we played, we managed to automate green science. You see it building up here. Today, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. Probably going to head towards blue science. We need to get a lot of research taken care of. Start to make sure we can deal with the aliens. But now that we've got green science automated, we can say, okay, let's get something nice here. What do we need? Maybe faster smelting or piercing rounds. Maybe piercing rounds. Or we can work towards the next big thing. So actually, mining productivity is really useful. Plastics is going to be really useful. Actually, to make blue science, you might need plastics. Let's see. Can't make blue science. So let's see what it takes to make blue science. So it takes red circuits, which I'm pretty sure take plastic. Engines, which take lubricant, which take not plastics, but take oil, and electric mining drills. That's a lot. So let's work towards this. So we need oil processing. So in addition to all this stuff with belts, let me adjust my sound a little bit. In addition to all the stuff with belts and moving material around, you also, in Factorio, need to move fluids around. Often more complicated than this nonsense we have over here. I feel like we should think a little bit about cleaning some stuff up. So it looks like we can put 2 in a row. Without them running out of steam, literally. This new steam stuff is new for me. The way it used to work is different. We actually probably should build some more power because we're at our limit, close to it. So let's build a couple of those, and we'll try to put maybe 2 on each thing. As we've talked about before, one of the joys of Factorio is going through and cleaning stuff up that you've done previously. And I'm not sure exactly whenever it makes sense, but pretty soon we'll come through and we'll say, all right, let's get rid of all this nonsense. Look at all this wasted space, etc. And we'll clean it up. So we can build solar panels now. That's actually pretty big to cut down our pollution. We also we really need to get electric smelters. That's, I think, our medium-term goal. Because once we get electric smelters, we can get off reliance on coal. We don't have to fill these up with coal, which is super annoying. And we've talked about, there are other options like automating this coal, but instead we're going to try to move to it's a lot of steel. Let's build some of these. We're going to try to move to not needing to deal with coal anymore at all. That's so one of the tricks. It's not really a trick, but you can you can get the game to automate stuff for you without really fully automating it. So, like I can come in here and I can dump, dump some green and what else did it take? Some copper, and then it'll keep making these as long as it has resources, and then that way, these are quite slow to build, so we don't have to worry about. Oh, I left that message on. I'm so sorry about that. Obviously, I'm here, so hopefully it wasn't too annoying. Okay, just making sure everything's working right. Yeah, so these are quite slow to build, as you can see down here in the corner, and so we can kind of semi-automate it by doing a little situation like this. Now, this machine's going to run out of this stuff eventually, but you know, we can always drop more stuff in, and in some sense, we're part of the network. So the question is, where do we put our solar panels? And you often want them in an out-of-place way. We should think about a lot of stuff here. So we've got a little bit of crude oil. There's some more over here. I don't see any more crude oil yet. The map is infinite, by the way, so you could theoretically walk. It's like Minecraft. You can walk forever. I also don't see the iron, which is kind of a shame. We're going to run out eventually. I don't know how long 400,000 is going to last, but it's not going to last us forever. So we need to look for more iron. And because this next patch of oil is over here, I'm just going to probably build all of our oil stuff to the left. So let's build our... ooh, these are new graphics. I haven't seen these before. These are quite sharp. Let's build our power field. I don't know, what do you call it? There's a lot of theory when it comes to placing buildings like this. People have worked out what are the maximum possible efficiency in terms of land usage. I just put them in these 3x2s, and you can't walk through them, so I like to leave some space to walk through them. That's pretty much it. We'll do once we get batteries, we'll do them in like a 2x something. I'm not even sure. Whatever works out. But for right now, these are our only patches of oil. So let's build a pump jack. All right, so that takes circuits. So let's grab some more circuits. Now, you might wonder why I don't bother to automate all this stuff. Why not build a factory that builds pump jacks? Why not build a factory that builds, you know, every little thing and hook it up to belts? Well, you can, and that's a perfectly fine way to play the game. You know, games are for having fun and enjoying yourself, and so whatever you want to do, you can do. At the same time, your own time is a resource that you're trying to work with, and this is what we want. And so from my perspective, instead of spending all the time automating all those things, I can spend a little bit of kind of overhead time delivering some materials and get on to the more interesting stuff. And that's just how I play. It is what it is. I think towards the end of the game, we might start automating more stuff. Once we get logistics robots, it makes things pretty easy to do drop-ins. You just automate one little thing and ask for the materials you need. So, all right, this is what we want. This is our electric furnace, so we no longer have to deal with coal directly. And we have to have quite a good production of science. So let's go ahead and research all the stuff needed to do this. So we'll need these slightly better smelters, steel furnaces. Let's see. So they have crafting speed to 180 kilowatts. Let's look at what normal furnaces are. Can we do it here? So same energy consumption, but half the speed. So you get twice as much throughput for the same amount of energy. Which is actually a pretty good deal. The problem is you need to make steel and you need to make those stone blocks. So probably let's throw in a stone block factory over here towards our stone stockpile, just to sort of save some up. We'll need those for walls. I like to wall in my base to help to make protecting it a little bit easier. So let's see. So let's do it with, we can switch this stuff out to electric mining drills now. And I'll do it like, well, let's see. Let's grab this and that. And we'll do a little something like this. It's not the end of the world if things aren't super efficient. And there's just going to be more than enough material here. So yeah, we'll have everything come over here, come like this, and we'll grab some of them to do one thing and some of them to do the other. So we'll stockpile stone. I mean, is that what it's called? Yeah, just stone. And then the other ones, we will drop into, actually, is it a furnace? I think we put it in a furnace. And because we're not going to come over here very frequently, I'm going to do the little trick we did before. Let's get some more chests in here. Oh, not steel. Well, okay, we've already done it. So we'll grab that, like that. Okay. So we'll just drop some coal in here so we don't have to worry so much about it. We need some more poles. We don't have copper. All right, let's grab some copper. But yeah, you can't be in all places at once, and it's certainly less stressful, less demanding to automate everything, but it takes up a lot of time that may give the enemies time to collect themselves. But we want to grab some copper. That's enough for now. Pretty soon we'll be able to have robots deliver some of the stuff to us so we don't have to go pick it up every time. And that's the kind of thing I'm looking forward to. All right, let's research plastics. This is going to take a while. So actually, maybe we should do. Let's do. Let's get these piercing rounds first, just in case we have to fend off an attack. Okay. Let's start getting some of this stone coming. All right. So stone comes in here, and the stone comes in here. So we sort of split it up. Oh, that was right quick. We want laser turrets, too. So we'll have to start making military. But before we do that, we should probably get batteries, which takes sulfuric acid, which takes oil. Gates are they're kind of useful, but not critical. Let's get this fluid handling. We'll work our way towards oil. So right, so this furnace is going to take the raw stone and create stone bricks, which we need for certain things like the fancy furnaces, these steel furnaces. So if we ever need more furnace throughput with the same amount of space, we can upgrade them on the spot. But sadly, they still take I'll just show you. They still take coal. So here's this fancy steel furnace, and it's still burning coal, but it's much faster. So it looks like we can actually put a faster inserter there. So we'll make more bricks per second or whatever. Okay. So this is kind of nice. We'll be able to come back later and get a nice supply of bricks. And we don't have to worry too much about it because this is going to feed it coal. Okay. So that looks good. Let's take a look at our power. We're pretty good in the daytime. I have nighttime disabled as a graphical thing. Actually, does that mean nighttime is disabled? Disabled? So I didn't really imagine that. So I disabled nighttime just because it's harder to see the map, and I thought it would be more interesting for people to be able to view the map. But it looks like it actually really disables night. So solar panels are good all the time. That's a shame, because that means that we don't have to deal with batteries and stuff, which makes things more complicated. So it's a little bit like cheating. That's a shame. I thought it was just a graphical thing. Yeah, so as it stands, we could just make solar panels, get rid of our steam engines, and we don't have to worry about nighttime. So I think I'm going to have to fix that. So hold on just a second. Let me go and unset that. Okay, I think I've done it. I think nighttime should be enabled again. We might have to save and load. But what we expect to see is that this line, the production of solar power, should go down and up. It should oscillate as the day comes and goes. So let's look for that. All right, what else? Let's put this engine here, and okay. Okay. All right, what's next? We have to make engines. Might as well research them. And looks like we need to start putting more coal in these. Let's drop off some things just to free up our inventory. Okay. Let's pick up some coal. We can actually increase our inventory size either through some kind of armor or research. I'm not sure which, but we should definitely look at that because this is we're filling up pretty quickly. And what I was going to do is try to automate piercing rounds. So it needs steel plates. We also need iron plates to make normal firearms. And then we need copper plates. So always the question, oh look, so it's night again. So the command worked. And I apologize if it's difficult to see, but I think we want to keep this challenge in the game. So if anyone knows of a way to disable the visual effects of nighttime, I would appreciate I did this again. Sorry about that. But yeah, let me know if there's a way to turn off the visual effects at night. So what I was trying to say is, if we automate the production of piercing rounds, then we need some copper, and so we have to figure out a way to get copper over here. And this is sort of the quintessential problem of Factorio, which is how do we get something somewhere else? Let's get, we don't see a lot of water, so I don't need piercing rounds. I mean, landfills. Maybe for now we just grab level 1 of this. So still don't see any enemies. And I think that's because the RSO mod keeps the enemies sort of kind of far away, but they're there, and they'll start to be bothered by this pollution, and then they'll start to attack us, so be ever vigilant. Right, so I could try to thread this copper up through here, maybe come under this and around. I think that's what I'll do. And this is the organic kind of behavior that I just love. So let's we'll split. We will put a underground. So it's going to go under this. Oops. And maybe something like that. We'll grab some more undergrounds. And now we have copper. Oops, almost. Now we have copper on this side. You have to be careful not to dump copper on the wrong belt, and then this would be flooded with copper, and all these machines would start getting copper instead of iron. But with underground belts and things like that, you can kind of clean that up. Make sure you don't do that. So let's drop a few more green circuits in here to help this thing out. I only managed to make 8, maybe even another couple of these. Right, so we have to automate firearms magazine and piercing rounds magazine. So this is just plates. So let's make, as you know, I'm not too big on doing the math. We'll just make like 2 of these. Something like here. Okay, we got our gun turret damage level 1. This will give us more slots in our quick bar. That's useful. That takes blue. Let's do that for now. Okay, so we can have these come off. Okay. Do a little power. So easy as pie. Now we've got our firearm magazines being automated. And now we want to feed them into a machine that that makes piercing rounds. So to make piercing rounds, it takes those magazines, steel and copper. And our steel's up here, and our copper's down here. So I think what I'm going to do... probably something like this. Oops, that's not what I meant. So let's sorry about the noise. So basically, we'll feed the left half of this belt copper, and we'll feed the right half of this belt with these magazines. And then we'll come down here and we'll split. Oops, wrong side. We'll split the steel. And maybe... So almost definitely I'm going to want more steel production. But I've decided in this playthrough that we're not going to worry too much about stuff like that, and we'll just kind of wing it. Because it's interesting to solve the problems that develop when you design organically. And there's a lot of problems with what we just did. If you want to think about it in terms of being great, it's not. There's so many problems. One is that we've blocked our extensibility for steel. Another is we can maybe fit in another piercing rounds thing here, but that's it, just one. Maybe two, maybe do it down here. You can kind of hack these sort of things in. But we don't have a whole lot of extensibility here. And neither of those is a good situation. But it's done. And there's huge value in having a solution that works. Let's see. So another problem is that it takes 5 copper plates, but only one of the other 2 items. So it would make more sense to put steel with firearms on the same belt instead of copper and firearms, because we only have half the bandwidth on this on this belt. But we're not in the business of worrying. We're gonna do what we're gonna do, and it's gonna be fine. Until it isn't, and then we fix it. We're gonna be reactive, not proactive. So if I go one more, I get to use the power. That's what I'm gonna do. And like magic, it's like so many times before, we've automated something else, something new, something that was kind of annoying to build. This takes a while, uses a lot of resources. But what we can do is take our firearms magazines, put them in there, and we'll grab piercing rounds for our own use. So this looks pretty good to me. I mean, obviously we need a whole lot more steel if we want to do a lot more of these. Tool belt. I thought we already did this. I guess we waited because it was a long. So eventually we'll need faster belts. These red underground belts let you go further underground. But for now, we're going to be focusing on the things we need for oil production, which include sulfur. So let's get the sulfur. Now, why did I automate piercing rounds? Well, one reason is that we need them for our. Ooh, we need a lot more. We need them for our guns to protect us. Another reason is that to build. Let's just take it all. Another reason is that to build the, what do you call it? This military science pack. It takes piercing rounds. So we'll probably also want to automate grenades and gun turrets, and then we can get those laser turrets researched. Maybe we'll automate that and blue today. I'm not sure if we can get to blue. Blue's a lot of work because we have to get our oil production going. But this looks pretty good. Everything's running. I'm not really focused on making things efficient in terms of trying to find the bottlenecks right now. Now we're in the expansion phase, and so we're going to automate, automate, automate. And then we'll take a step back and look at making things efficient. But look at this. This is fantastic. Now we have 2 bars of these toolbar bars. Give us a little bit more space to work with. So we can start to think about oil. So what I kind of want to do is as we were sort of, oh, there's our first enemies. Oh, and some more oil. They're sitting on some oil. So it might be worthwhile to start making walls. Let's actually automate walls first. Enemies will come and hit the walls, and they'll often sort of walk around it to a fixed point, and then you can reinforce that one point with turrets and gun. And more walls. So let's take another look at our stone production over here. How's it going? We got tons of stone bricks. So what does it take to build walls? Where is walls? Combat? So it takes 5 stone bricks. So let's... There's all sorts of ways to do this, of course. But this is the way we're going to do it. So we want to keep some of the stone bricks around. So this is going to grab some of them. This is going to grab some others. And this way we kind of, without too much thought, we have a stockpile of both. So let's put a chest coming out of this. And just like magic, we've automated stone walls. So once this builds up a good amount, we will grab them and start making walls. The fact that we might want a lot of these makes me think maybe we should make a couple of these furnaces. This is pretty slow. I think we'll do that. So let's go for the belt. And we're gonna go like this, so forget all this stuff. And even that, and even that, and even that. And do these furnaces take the other furnaces? No. Let's build 3 of these. So it's going to go through like this. Doot, doot. And I think we decided we want fast here. Like that. Oops. And like that. It's always missing power. So now this belt is extensible, and we're going to add our assembly machine back, let's say over here. And it makes walls, and it's gonna, oops, output them into a chest like that. These need outputs. So right quick, we're making way too many bricks. This is too slow, and it looks like the slow part is loading them. So we can put a fast inserter in there. Still slowed down by inserting, so we can actually put 2 of them. Still slowed down by inserting. Oh, I see. So now we're actually being, now we're limited by stone. So see how this one is starved. So let's throw a few more I'm not going to spend too long on optimizing this, but I do enjoy this kind of stuff. Like that. So now we have twice as much stone coming down. Got our sulfur. Advanced oil is great, but we can't do blue until we do oil. But we need batteries. Let's do batteries. All right. So now the stone's starting to reach here. So this one's being fed. Okay, and see how the stone's piling up? That means that we know that these are fully utilized. It looks like the output is actually a problem now. Let's see if it builds up or it goes down. We definitely need to wait to get coal in here, because this isn't going to last very long. So let's see if we can do it with reds. I'm not sure if, nah, that's not going to work. But we might be able to do it like this. So it doesn't, it can't grab it. Now it may be because it's on the right side. So yeah, still can't grab it. I guess this picture is a little bit misleading. Oh, it might not need it. Yeah, okay, all right, it works. So that works. So let's just leave it like that, and can do that. Let's take his coal, see if that works. Okay, so he can grab it. And the problem with this one is we need to power this. So this is really like awful and micro optimizy, but I can do this, and I believe that they can still grab that. So this is a mess, right? This is an absolute mess, but it seems to be working. And it's better than what we had. It's not a whole lot of stuff going on, but it's better than what we had. We can extend this a little bit to the right. I'll put some of those there. So let's add maybe one or two more. Now, if we research power lines, power distribution, we can actually build better power. That we don't have to do stuff like this. Okay. Um, so now we've got 4 of them going, and I think that's all I'll do. So this is definitely being slowed down because there's not enough bricks coming in, but it's quite a bit faster than originally. I guess, you know, four times faster, at least. Now this is so you can build lights. It just seems like such a waste. But let's put down our solar panels while we're over here. Looks good. So obviously these aren't working very efficiently at night, and you can see the sinusoidal sort of thing. So you've got a nice, in the daytime it's max power, but then at night it's a trough. And that means that if you look at the steam engine's typically going to work harder in the day. But this will save a little bit of coal, and it'll save a little bit of pollution. All right. Need to manually put in a little bit more coal over here. And since I'm over here, I'll replace these with the more efficient ones, and add this one, because we do need a whole lot of steel. So, boop, boop, boop. So that's like twice as fast. We'll probably start eating through our iron supply, but we'll build up a lot more of these. Oh yeah, 56. Let's go place these down. So ideally, eventually, we'll have enough solar panels that we don't need to run steam engines in the daytime at all. And then once we get batteries, we won't even have to run steam engines at night. And at that point, we've drastically cut down our power usage. And what's the point of that? Well, you save on coal, and you don't pollute. I really like these new graphics. Okay, it's connect it to the grid. And then we'll take a look at the graph in a second. And we'll see how much this actually does for us. Each of these individual panels isn't a whole lot of power, but once you have them, you have them. They don't take resources, inputs. All right. So lab research speed, it's not super useful. I mean, it's not terrible, but speed is something that's kind of interesting. I think a lot of people who do mega projects are interested in speed, but I'm more interested in like product efficiency, getting the maximum stuff with the minimum amount of resources, or trying to minimize pollution. Because you can't make the enemies less mad. I mean, I think maybe you can, but it takes a long time. But I actually don't think you can at all. Once they get angry, hi, Crack Gom. Not sure exactly how to say that. What's up? But once they get angry, they're angry for life. They evolve and they get more and more vicious, and they don't really unevolve. Let's finally do the plastics. And I think it's time. Let's take a look at our power. So we just, I don't even know, 6 times maybe as much power, maybe more. And you see this blue line for our steam engine power has dropped significantly. Now we're still not getting all of our power in the daytime from solar, but it's a lot better. A lot better. Crack says, I have 1 ABO more. Advanced something? I don't even, what is ABO? All right. Let's start talking about oil. Or maybe we should do lasers first. Or walls even. Let's take a look at how many walls we've got, and let's try building maybe one side of our walls. See what that looks like. So it's not a whole lot of walls, honestly. But if we decide where to build these, maybe we can start. So land is one of your most precious resources, like protected land where you can build stuff without being attacked. And so to fence it in is pretty worthwhile. Problem is, if you fence in too early, then you have to worry about trying to expand later, and all the time that you spent making those walls. Like, we definitely want this oil and this oil. And we want space in here for oil distribution. Crack, what do you mean you have 1 ABO more? So the theme of this Let's Play so far has been, let's just do what's necessary. So I'm not going to spend too much time optimizing this. Let's try building a small wall to start with, and we'll leave enough space over here to do some basic oil stuff, and we'll expand later. Oops. So that's a good amount of space. I'm going to go a little bit further. Let's say that. So So I'm just looking on the mini map and seeing how far down I've gone. Oh, we hit some trees here. So I could chop them down. You can also use a shotgun and blow them up. If we had bots, we can use bots to deconstruct them. Since we kind of need wood, and I don't want to waste it, I'm gonna grab some of these. I think we should figure out where the south border should be, and then come down that far. So let's do that. So, oh, that's quite a ways, actually. I didn't realize. So we'll probably want to expand this science stuff. So for now, let's have it be here. So this will be our southern border. And that's all of our walls. So we maybe fenced in half of it. Maybe a little less. Okay. Anything else need coal? Not yet. All right, so let's go ahead and just start oil. Oil can be kind of tricky. It's got a lot of buildings involved. Pipes are kind of annoying. But you start with pump jacks, and pump jacks will pump crude oil from the ground. And we've only got 2 spots here that have oil, as far as I can tell. How are we doing on iron? So in the time we've been talking, we've used up 20,000 iron. So we really need to find that next spot. Oh, here's an enemy too. Ooh. Yeah, we didn't even get half. It's okay. It's okay. But what I'm going to do while I'm thinking about it is I'm just going to... This is kind of like a stopgap measure. I'm going to build a couple more turrets. It's one of these things where once they start attacking... what are we out of? Green. Once they start attacking, you kind of wish you had done more to prepare. But we'll throw up a turret over here on this border because there's an enemy over there, and hopefully they'll target it. Something like that. Right. Let's add these solar panels. Anything we can do to reduce pollution is usually it's usually a great thing. It's almost such a good strategy that I feel like it's cheaty. You can get to the point where there's just no enemies in range of your pollution, and your pollution isn't gonna grow because your base is doing what you want. And at that point, you're just not gonna get attacked anymore. Right. So what were we doing? Oil. So we've made our pump jacks. And we'll come over here and got to get rid of that. Maybe like that and like that. And we will hook that back up to power, hook that to power. Okay, so the pump jacks start pumping crude out of the ground. Now what we want to do is we want to hook this up to a pipe network. And we should automate these pretty quick. So pipes take a lot of iron and it takes a lot of time. Each of these underground pipes takes 10 regular pipes, and each regular pipe is an iron plate, so it gets expensive in time and iron. But we will handcraft a few of these. A few of these. Maybe another one of those. Alright, so here's the idea. We want to kind of connect these up, and right now it's not so important how we do it because we're going to come over here and clean all this other stuff up. So we'll just do it with pipes here. And you see how the crude oil is getting put into the pipes. Plastic's done. Let's just do a couple of easy ones. Easy research. So we want the oil to come through maybe like here. Oops. Make sure these power networks are connected. You can actually have multiple power networks. So if you don't connect up your grid, you can have, let's say, solar panels serving part of your base and different things serving a different part of your base. We want to keep them connected for now. We don't need that. All right. So this oil's coming in, and now it's starting to go underground. It's going loop to loop to loop to loop. Now these little pipe connectors, they do take up space, but there's not a whole lot of them. I mean, it only takes up two spots every, I don't know, 10 spaces, but it can still get annoying. Boy, we're really going through our iron. See how we're not struggling for coal anymore? I think that's because of the solar panels. Speaking of which, I love solar. I'm going to grab some more green and sneaker network it up here. Something like that. Oops, gotta keep some copper. Bullet shooting speed. I mean, that's cool. Landfills, we still don't really have much water. Yeah, let's so this is what we're working towards. So I guess we might as well research this. Now this is really close. So once the pollution touches them, they're going to start getting pissed, and then they're going to start attacking. So as much as I want to finish the oil stuff, or at least start building it, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to look at our wall situation again. See if we can't maybe make our eastern wall, the Great Wall. So 300 walls. That's actually that's terrific. So let's just decide that we're not going to build anything really east of this. Stone. We'll expand sort of on the west side of our base. So let's just do a thing like this, and we want to go up essentially until we meet our northern wall, which we kind of have to. We'll have to bring over. I think that's too far, or maybe not. Not far enough. So let's. I wish there were better tools to line things up like this. I could guess at it, but I'm gonna just come over and extend it across. The enemy AI, at least the last time I played, seems to sort of have a weird problem with boxes. And so if your walls are in a box shape, they'll always come to one spot, and you can reinforce that spot. So that's what we'll do. Maybe they made the AI smarter, in which case we'll have to figure out some other strategy. But until then, we're going to do this. So same deal down here. Oh, well, there it is. All right, so let's go ahead and just sort of put the turret behind this, the edge of the wall. But this is looking pretty good. We've actually got most of the base surrounded now. I think we'll be okay, more or less. See how we're doing at power at nighttime. Still pretty good. It's such a small amount of time where the solar isn't helping. Okay. So I'm going to come back over, and I'm going to just preemptively make some gun turrets so that in case we have to reinforce something, we can do that really quick. All right, where did we leave off oil? So here's our last pipe. And yeah, I'm thinking we'll go north from here. We need honestly a lot more of these, so I'm just going to queue them up. So this is going to take a bit, so let's just look around. Wonder if maybe our copper needs... Not really. Let's get it out of our inventory. Okay. So then after bread is blue, and then high-tech science packs, all sorts of stuff we're not ready to even think about. All right, here's our goal. So we can actually research it once we have blue science. Laser. Let's go ahead and do laser. Let's drop some junk off. We don't really need so much stone, certainly, or the wood. Or that. Okay. Keep some space. Boy, that eats up all of our iron. Okay, how... It looks good to me. So, I think we can cancel that. Let's grab some more of those. All right. Crude oil's coming in these pipes. Let's bring it up maybe to here, and then we'll sort of grow northwest. Let's put this here. Even the way we do the inventory will probably clean up at some point. Okay. So the way oil works is first you have to split it up into its components. And you do that with an oil refinery. So I'll make maybe I'll start with 3, but we'll keep it in. I mean, we're almost definitely not going to use even 1. But the thing about oil is you'll want to grow it eventually. I mean, it's true for everything, but for whatever reason, the fluids tend to be trickier to route, at least in my opinion. Let's see what else. We also want some buffers. So just like the belts have been our buffers, and some chests. We want, where is it? These storage tanks. So storage tanks just hold fluid. And levels build up and then get used from the tanks. So let's start collecting our crude here. And this little window on the side shows how much stuff there is. There's also, I can't show you with the mouse, but on the bottom right, the green progress bar looking thing shows you how full the tank is. So, okay, this looks good. So we'll store our crude here, and I'll just to sort of get the shape, I'll do this. So then let's start feeding it into these things. So it comes in like this. Now, eventually, and I don't remember which side, etc., etc. But with advanced processing, you also have to put in water, and it's a more efficient recipe. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So this splits oil, raw oil, crude oil, up into its constituent parts, which in this game are heavy oil, light oil, and petrol, or not petrol. What's it called? Petroleum, I think. We'll find out in a second. So what do you do with all these things? Well, you can use chemical plants like assembling machines to turn stuff into stuff. So let's just drop one down. So let's see. So you can make fuel, you can make lubricant, you can make batteries, plastic. Yeah, petroleum is the third product. So petroleum and coal you can turn into plastic. which is useful for making our red circuits. So this is our next step to automate blue science. Let's make these red circuits. And we'll need plastic. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these plants and I'm going to just leave space just to make everything easier. And then let's do this like that. So now the oil's coming in and it's going in each of these. Make sure to power them up. Let's see, where's the... It's so hard to see at night. I'm just going to connect the power up. But yeah, so this is burning now, and it's creating these things. And they'll need a place to go. Oops. So what I like to do here is put another level of buffers. So we're gonna get rid of that rock. And never enough space. How do I want to do this? Okay, we haven't automated military science yet, so we can't do any of this cool stuff. I don't think we need electric engines for blue science. Let's get mining productivity. So this will be, I believe it's faster. It might be more resources, I don't know. Maybe we should look. It doesn't say. I thought we'd be able to get our electric furnace faster than we have. It's a little bit annoying to have to come and put coal in. Like, everything ground to a standstill after it ran out. But such is our lot in life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to start building, I think, even more of these, really. So this will be where we keep petroleum as a buffer. And oops. And the light oil, and pretty similarly let's do heavy oil. I think it was there. And by doing this, these three plants get to start working once we hook it all up. So Now I'm not really happy with how I did it because of the way pipes work. So I'm just going to put an extra thing here. So this will come here, here. Oops. Okay, so that one's hooked up there now. We can do these like we did the inputs, like that. Okay, now this needs to come out. I'll hook it up like that. Okay, so heavy's going out, so now we need heavy here. Probably, I think I'll do it like this. I like this little T dealy bob. You have to make sure not to cross the streams or it really gets screwy. Okay, so heavy is coming out of all of them. Light is coming out of all of them. And petroleum is coming out of all of them. So these should keep working now and fill up excuse me, these storage tanks. Okay. Now we have places to pull from. And we can just keep expanding these. I think we've run out of iron. Okay, so slowly but surely. Just taking a look at what needs coal. All right, blue science takes plastic. Plastic takes petroleum. And coal. So probably we want to build them up here. Let's make something like this. Maybe we'll do, for now we'll just do 2 spaces between them so I don't have to worry about it. So we want to fill this belt with coal. Plastic. All right. And I want to hook this up. Maybe like this. So many ways it's it's often frustrating. Okay, so now these are getting petroleum. So now we need to give them the coal. So let's look and see how we should do that. So our coal thing is here. Maybe we can split and come around and cut across here. That looks like probably the easiest way. We could of course come around the outside. But another thing to keep in mind is how your base is going to evolve. eventually this iron's going to be used up, and this is going to be free space again. And we'll want to rebuild all this once we get electric furnaces. So all of this is temporary. So I'm just going to come around and cut across. So let's split here. Is that okay? Oops. No, hold on. I'll go one higher. Okay. Did we never build? We never got red stuff? Eh. This is so evolutionary. I mean, in the sense of it being hackish, it's 100% reactionary. Unlike this oil stuff where I'm kind of trying to spread it out because I know exactly that it's going to grow in the future. This stuff, I don't really know what's going to happen, so I'm not really worried too much about it. You can't plan without information. All right, so coal's coming up here. Just like everything else in this game, we'll grab it. Let's get some power. And this is going to start outputting plastic, which is kind of a crazy thing, considering all the nonsense that goes on to get the oils. But it's satisfying to see it in action, I think. Maybe it's time for the red belts. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we've got plastic going. And for starters, we're going to do what we do, which is just grab it. So now we get to see this in action and work out any kinks as it's going on. Like right now, we're not using heavy or light oil, so these are going to fill up eventually. And then what? The whole machinery is going to get stuck. So we have to make sure we have enough buffer until we start using that heavy and light oil. All right. So let's start thinking about automating blue, like like for serious. So it takes red circuits, which take plastic and green circuits, and copper cable. So red circuits are pretty tricky. They're hard. It's easy to have them be starved by all sorts of stuff. Okay, so that's one component. It takes engines. Engines, I think we should automate those next, because it involves pipes and gears and whatnot. And then electric mining drills. Now we actually already automated those, I think. We did that quite early, somewhere down here. It's really hard to see at night. Yeah. So we have those automated here. So that's good. So let's do Engines. So engines take steel, gears, and pipes, all of which are iron products. So it makes sense maybe to put it up here somewhere. Steel, gears, and iron. We can let's put them here. Let's see. Since I'm here, I'm just going to grab these solar panels, and then we'll put these down and come back. Now these do take up a lot of space, so it's not like they're free, but space isn't something that you have to pay for over and over. Once you protect it, kill the enemies in the area, it's kind of your space. And I mentioned in the first video that actually chopping down trees is not great because trees eat up pollution. But it's another one of these things where if you need land, well, what are you going to do? So many. Oops. Somehow this is very soothing. I mean, I find it's very soothing. Tiling these. Doing your part to combat pollution. Oops, we got those off center. All right. We're not even close to doing this yet, but not only can you automate the creation of items, but you can actually have robots place them for you. So once we get to a certain point of the game, I can take a blueprint of like one of these things or even this whole array, and I can just say, hey, robots, go build me one of these, and it'll build hundreds of stuff. It's the game keeps scaling as you get more powerful. You really are commanding more things. It's super neat. Let's put down a little bit of coal here. We should do the other side, but all right. Why'd this stop? It looks like we're not getting enough crude now, so we'll need to seek out and connect these other crude sources. Crude's kind of an interesting resource compared to iron and copper, which there's a certain amount of it and it goes away. With crude, it slows down, it slows down, it slows down, and eventually you're only getting a tiny little bit, but it never completely goes away. All right. We said that we were doing engines. We're doing them here. And Let's look at the power though. Oh yeah. Okay. So engines take steel, gears, and pipes. So let's see what pipes take. They just take an iron plate. So what we can do is we can make, I'm thinking, just to make this easy, I'm going to make gears and pipes and put the output on the same belt. So it'll be something like I'm going to do it coming up. Let's see if we have enough space for this. So we'll do gears over there, pipes over here. Oops. It's going to be close. This is kind of in the way, but we can move it. And this is not really a great way to do it, but I'm going to do it because I think it might be cute. So the outputs go on the same belt. So this is the idea. So iron comes in. Pipes and gears come out. Which is what we want. Let's go ahead and make gates. All these things, you know, none of them are super important, but they're nice to have. You can just walk through gates, whereas with walls you can't. You have to deconstruct them and then rebuild them. So the nice thing about this is I can increase it. I can add 2 or 3 of these in this amount of space. And I'm going to come up. So now we've got our pipes and gears. Pipes and gears, pipes and gears. So now we just need steel, which is right here. So split it here. And come up like this. Ah, you rascal. We'll do it. I don't think we'll need more than one of these, so I'm actually just going to do it inside. That's fine with me. I'm happy to wait with these things. There's no rush. All right. Boop, boop. And like that. And it's done. Now I don't know if we need a whole lot of these. Maybe whatever. This says just fill up to there. But we've got it. So as long as we have iron coming in, and as long as we have steel, this will give us these engines. So that's one. Actually, that's two-thirds of what we need, because we've also automated the electric miners. Electric drills. So we have engines and electric drills. So now we just need advanced circuits, which is easily the hardest. Let's take a quick inventory. We're down to 360,000 iron. We're just chewing through it. We haven't yet touched an enemy with pollution, but it's really close over here. All right, I think what we should do then is finish the wall while some of this stuff just sort of churns. Okay. I'll wait on the coal. And dutifully, this has been building 1,000 walls while we were busy. I think this is enough to finish. We could have made things actually much bigger. So actually, let's extend south maybe a little bit further so that we have some extra space. I think this is a forest? No. Okay, all right, that's fine then. We actually went down kind of far already. So this is where we had started building the south wall. We'll just extend it till we hit the other one. A lot of people joke that trees are the most annoying enemy. They're always in the way, and they're kind of annoying to deal with. They're kind of slow to chop down. And most of the weapons in the game do work against trees. All right, so we've got nearly the whole thing cordoned off. We can start doing railway. I don't think we're there yet. We need to figure out where the next iron deposit is. We should also start doing modules. So we should get some of these efficiency modules, and we put them in some stuff, and it makes buildings use less energy, which means we don't need so much power, which means we don't need to make so much pollution. Let's do that. I also think those are kind of OP, but I think they've increased the cost in recent patches, so it's not as bad as it used to be. Hopefully we don't have a hole anywhere. pretty sure the game is sprite based as opposed to being truly 3D. And the trees is it's one of the places where that is particularly annoying. Because you can't rotate the camera or anything like that to avoid them blocking your view. But there's so much going on in this game. I assume that there's an efficiency gain to having a sprite-based. So I think that's it. Maybe we should be on the inside. Yeah. So we've built ourselves a giant box around our base. We're not safe, but when the enemies come, they will they'll be stopped by the wall, and they'll have to chew through it before that they can get into our good bits. And that'll give us time to try to fend them off. I just realized I've got a bunch of solar panels. I'm going to drop those down. And then we're going to automate red circuits. And if we can do that, we should be able to automate blue science. That'll probably be where we stop today. One of the major sciences each stream. They used to only be red, blue, and green, and now there's like 7. And they've actually made, I think, blue is a little bit more easier. It's a little bit easier than it used to be. And I like that they split it up. It's not such of a jump to go from each level. And you have options. Like we could have done military instead of blue science. Okay. A little bit of bookkeeping here. We just need to fill up some stuff. Once we get the blue science, we can stop doing this coal thing forever, which I'm sure everybody will appreciate. Okay, how's our copper? Still looks... Oh, no, that's out. Let's fill that up. All right. Now you may have been noticing we've had green and red science in this belt. We never run out, so we could add labs, but we're not in that optimization mode. So okay. So the first question is, where do we do red science? We're going to want a lot of space. Modules. So now we want efficiency module. So this decreases energy consumption. Definitely want that. It takes a lot of green circuits to build red circuits, and a lot of red circuits to build blue circuits. Circuits are kind of the main thing you have to craft in this game. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically go south of this line, and all this space is going to be for crafting circuits. We've already got stuff we need, more or less, here. So let's get a couple of... Let's see how we do this. Let's get a couple of green science things going. So just like we did this, we're going to make a couple more of those. Then we'll route the plastic down, and we'll figure out how to work into some copper copper cable production. All right, so first let's just extend this. This isn't fantastic, but this is what I'm going to do. Okay. And doot. In the future, we'll have to come through and do something slightly different. Did I mess that up? I messed that up. These are a little bit finicky sometimes. Okay, so the iron goes through, the copper goes through. Those are the two basic ingredients. And honestly, we're just going to build another one of these. So I haven't researched blueprints yet, but you could actually make a blueprint of this and then copy and paste it. But you have to research it first. So, boop. Let's make a metric ton of these. Grab some iron. Like that. What else? We could use more copper. Grab some of these doohickeys. And fill this up. Always want these solar panels coming in. We're doing okay for power though. Maybe at night, actually, like midnight, we might run out of power, but I don't really care. So we built efficiency modules. Sorry. Trying to get situated. I very rarely need stack inserters, so modular armor is fantastic. Let's grab this. So with modular armor, we can actually put stuff into our armor to give it special powers. All right. So it's going to go just like it did before. We will do 3 of these. We'll do 2 of these, except now I'm going to make 2 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'll make some blues, some reds. Okay. Something like that. We've got our iron coming down. We've got that coming across like that, and then these we made fast. So I think that is the basic thing. Extend that. Oops. Extend this. I'll power it up. And output goes in a belt. Beautiful. Look at all that green circuits. You can probably immediately notice we're starved for copper down here, but not going to worry so much about that. We'll come back to it. Always try to get your stuff working first, and then optimize it. All right. So so there's our green circuits. Now we're going to need plastic bars and copper cables. So this takes 6 time, which is actually quite a bit. So it's very slow to build. So what I'll probably do is probably combine plastic and green circuits onto one belt, and then have copper cables coming in, maybe even just with an assembler directly. I'll show you what I mean. But we'll put that maybe down here or somewhere. All right, but let's figure out how to route the plastic down, because plastic, if you recall, is all the way up here. All the way at the top. So I think what I'll do, just come up for now, come around, just honestly just come straight back down. Oh, here it is. Okay, so plastic should be coming on this belt. And what I say I was going to do with it? Combine it with green. So yeah, actually, maybe I'll just do this. This is kind of cute. So plastic will start to fill up the other side of it. So I did this purely because of how cute this was. It's kind of nice. It happens to work out. It's all tidy. Don't stress out too much. Don't worry. Don't worry about this kind of stuff. It's too much to do in life. All right. There's all sorts of things that we're going to want here. One of the most important is these exoskeletons, because they make you move fast. They're fantastic. You can outrun enemies. I just love them. But, ooh, that takes a lot of stuff. Yeah, let's go for personal solar panels for now. A lot of research. I mean, you have to think. What if we hadn't automated green? What if we had tried to build it manually? We'd have been sitting and waiting forever. Okay. So now we can build circuits, advanced circuits. I'll continue calling them red circuits. And we have a belt with green circuits and plastic bars. And now we just need some copper cables. Well, we happen to have a belt of copper here. So what I'm going to do is something like this. So that'll give both of those. I don't know if this makes sense. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is looking good to me. So copper cables will come in here, and basically we just have to put copper here. And okay. And then this feeds into both of these. So, bam, we've got our red circuits. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Where do we put them? Well, I think we'll put them on a belt the same way we do green. So like this. Except, my first inclination is actually to have the belt go this way. Whatever, let's do it. Let's do it. Belt's coming back. Okay. The problem is now we're never going to build any more of these because we're out of copper. So let's see what the problem is. So we have plenty of copper ore. We don't have enough copper furnaces. I think just to do it, it's no big deal. I'll build a couple of these steel furnaces, these faster, and replace these. They're not going to last for long because as soon as we get our blue production up, we can move over to the electric furnaces, which are better. But this will speed things up a little bit. Maybe another 5. So what we're looking for is some of this copper to escape and go through here. Like it's happening a little bit, but so two more. So this will double our copper production, copper plate production. So there we go. So now we've got a good number of these coming through. They'll be used first and foremost to build green circuits, but then this will fill up and they'll be stuck like this one is. And so then the copper will finally get through here. And so we'll trickle some red circuits through. So what do we do with red circuits? Well, we want to make blue science. And we've built all the constituent parts, so let's put them together. And I think there's enough things we want to use red science for that I'm actually going to go back out. So I've changed my mind. All right, but let's go. Let's deal with this. We're so close to getting rid of all this nonsense. I don't know if we've saved time, so to speak, by not automating the coal being inserted into these, but we've certainly saved like the effort. Oops. Well, we could burn wood, but it's useful for crafting. We've saved the effort of figuring out like a good way of doing it. Maybe the next time I play, I'll try automating it, but oh well. Ooh, yeah, now we had run out of iron here. All right, we're getting a little bit of reds coming out. This is flush with copper, which is actually way more than I anticipated. So what's the slowdown? The slowdown is just these machines. Oh, this is backwards. Okay. So this machine wasn't being used. Also, by the way, we can start making efficiency modules, which take red circuits. And these are the things that decrease your power. So we'll put them in the biggest power-consuming things. All right. So what we're going to do is we'll start getting some blue science coming out, and then we'll stop for today. So we've got our drills coming out here. Let's put them on a belt. Can do it like this for now. All right, I guess we'll do those later. This is like exactly the wrong spot because of these goofy things, so I'll put it down one. All right, so now we've got a belt that will contain drills. We've got a belt that contains red circuits. And where do we build our engines? I think it's coming out here. So maybe what I'll start to do is I'll put a red grabber and do this. So they'll be put on this belt. Okay. And I'll just say stop stockpiling them. So this belt should fill up with engines. And we'll bring those down next to the plastic. Let's skip over that. All right, so now in the same general area, we've got red circuits, we've got engines, and we have drills. And that's exactly what it takes to build blue science. So let's, heck, let's just make it here. And let's just put 4 of them. I don't know how many we'll need exactly, but what I'm going to do is Um, so I'm going to move the drills to the other side of the belt. Then I'm going to put the engines on that side. So this belt will come up here with engines and drills. We'll split the red. That'll be on this side. And we'll hook them up. Presto! Blue science. Alright, this isn't quite the end. We still have to get the blue science out, and we have to bring it to our science machines. Laboratories. So, because we've got belts on both sides, I'm going to put a red to bring this down as such. We'll come around, sneak under this belt, and block all this stuff for now. We'll probably change it later. But this is looking pretty good to me. This is not... You don't have to go across the whole map, you know? It's a little bit of a distance, but it's not too far. So this is coming down here. Boop, boop, boop. Now red and green go on their own belt. So blue is blue has its own belt for now. We finally ran out of yellow belts. Well, where do we make those? Where's our chest for yellow belts? Do we not have one? Oh, it's over here. That's good. Okay, blue's coming in. We want them to go down like this. Something like that. Oh, it feels so good to see these blues coming in. Now, if you try to craft them manually, it actually takes twice as long to craft than a green. And if you remember, reds take quite a bit by themselves. You also have to carry around engines. And why would you want to carry around engines? So this automation is just fantastic. Okay, so blues are going to build up in this belt as we ask the research tool to research things that take reds, like for example, oh, I don't know, advanced material processing 2 with electric furnaces. It's going to take 250 blues, but then it's going to start pulling in those blues from our belt, and we'll be good. So once mining productivity finishes, that's what we'll switch to. And then the next episode, the next stream, we're going to be able to remove all of these shitty steel furnaces and the stone furnaces that we are using for, yeah, like this nonsense we're going to get rid of, because our furnaces are all going to be electric, and so we'll never have to worry about inserting coal again. So I hope you come back and tune in for that. We did some cool stuff today. We've got 3 major sciences automated, and honestly, once we get our electric furnaces in place, we can really start thinking about how do we clean all this nonsense up. Um, we've got belts going all sorts of which ways, things that can't extend, but now we have the research to kind of make good decisions. So yeah, come check it out. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.